Vayidom Aharon, and Aaron was silent. In our Torah portion this week, Shmini, we learn that Aaron is silent in response to the seemingly inexplicable deaths of his sons, Nadav and Avihu. You might have noticed early on in our service when the slides were going through, Cantor Kotler picks out various works of art, and the one he picked for early on in the service was quite strange because you see these two human beings kind of falling backward, and what is that all about? My guess is that that is an illustration of Nadav and Abihu being, I'll say, literally blown away, though they were consumed by fire, by God, because they had just been celebrating the inauguration of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle, and there was an ordination, it was a celebration, and the name of our Torah portion, Shmini, is for the 8th day. And here we have Nadav and Avihu who go on their own accord, not being commanded by God, and they offer this sacrifice to God, at which point God consumes not only the sacrifice, but God consumes them, and they die at that moment. And so Moses says something which I'm not sure if it's a sentiment of comfort or not. He says to his brother Aaron, "This is what the Eternal meant by saying, 'Through those near me I show myself holy and gain glory before all the people.' Vayidom Aharon," and Aaron was silent. I often wonder about this silence. Was it a silence of shock, of grief, of dumbfoundedness, or something else? The rabbis in the Talmud describe Aaron's silence as meriting reward. It reads, "The Holy and Blessed One said this statement to Moses, but Moses did not know its meaning until the sons of Aaron died. Once the sons of Aaron died, Moses said to him, 'Aaron, my brother, your sons died only to sanctify the name of the Holy and Blessed One.' When Aaron knew that his sons were beloved by the Omnipresent, he was silent and received a reward." Now, we could have a whole discussion just on that passage of the Talmud, whether or not that is comforting or deserving of reward or not. But I look at this phrase, Vayidom Aharon, and there's different ways to express silence or stillness. And when I hear Vayidom, it's that same root, that same word where we hear Kol Dimama Daka. So Vayidom Dimama. And this expression, V'Kol Dimama Daka, is sometimes referred to the still small voice, or that soft murmuring sound. And where do we find that? We find it in the story of Elijah. Elijah has fled for his life. He is in a cave, but he's seeking God. And he's looking for God in the wind, in the earthquake, in the fire. And in none of these grand places does Elijah find God. But rather after the fire, Kol Dimama Daka, that still small sound. Elijah turns inward to that stillness, if not silence, small voice. And it is after experiencing the silence, the stillness, that Elijah is then able to hear God's voice. When we meditate, we often do so in silence, turning inward and seeking that divine spark inside of us. Mindfulness and meditation often take place through that expression of turning inward toward one's breath. As we recall from Genesis, that when God formed the human, God blew into the human's nostrils the breath of life. At that moment, the human became a living being. This image really resonates with me because when I find myself trying hard to control my breath, I'm breathing in and breathing out, deep breath, I'm forcing it. And then I reflect in my mind, thinking back to that scene in Genesis, God, you breathed me. And then I stop trying we're breathing all the time. Well, God willing, we're breathing all the time. I stop, I try to relax, and allow the breath to come and go, and I'm just here to observe it. So let's take a moment now, trying that, to turn inward to some silence, to that kol demama daka. I invite you, if you feel comfortable to do so, to take a seat in which, if you're able to ground your feet, both feet on the floor, wherever you're sitting, whether you're here in the sanctuary or you're watching remotely. And if you can, with a straight back, shoulders back, but shoulders also down, kind of relaxing them and opening that space for breathing. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, or not. You could just keep them open with an unfocused gaze in front of you. And take in that deep breath and out. And now just breathe normally, or as I might say, God, breathe me. And as we meditate in silence, let us turn inward toward that kol demama daka.